So it's something on YouTube.
I'm trying to take 2 here, but I don't know how long this one's going to work.
It's definitely something on YouTube's end.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Adam said it went back up. But hold on. There we go.
Did you get it?
Okay, yeah, it's not just us.
What is YouTube related?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just us. It's YouTube. I can't see the stream. 2 people.
So are we?
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, 53 people. Well, no. Let me go.
It's something on YouTube's end before we started. So the reason I
still
have
got
it on
the
my
monkey.
phone, we can't even see the chat.
Yeah, I still got the monkey.
So
apologies for that, everybody.
Yeah, this is obnoxious.
It really is. I do apologize.
Yeah, not sure what you said wrong, but NHL cut your feed. That stream lasted longer than Buffalo's playoffs hopes.
Okay, so I'll keep that. All right.
So I don't think you guys heard us answering the super chats we had at the end there. Somebody was asking us our drinks of choice. Alcoholic or non-alcoholic at hockey
I always drink. I've really got now into Diet Orange Crush because they finally have a Diet Orange Crush, which is overdue. Make all of the Crush flavors diet. And then Coke Zero. The other nice thing about Diet Orange Crush is it's dropping down my caffeine intake, so I'm a fan of that as well. Although it does mean I'm more tired when I'm watching games.
We don't ever get alcohol at games, ever.
No, I generally don't drink.
I always get tea. For Vancouver, I get Timmy's because they've got Timmy's at the arena.
When I was
Abbotsford,
I was growing up, I was acquainted with my father drank, and I was acquainted with a lot of people who drank, and I learned quickly I don't ever want to look like and feel like and nah. So I have, and I don't enjoy being drunk. So like it's not a fun experience. I'm not a fan.
I'm the driver, so
yeah.
And alcohol puts me to sleep, so I don't.
Have I had any talk with the hockey gods lately? I
don't think they listen to you.
They don't. They generally don't.
How games go, I don't think
I've had
to you at all.
I've had nights during these playoffs where I've been disappointed with every single result. So if anything, they kind of laugh at me. But that's the thing, though. I will very often root for underdogs, and underdogs are obviously lower seeds. They're lower seeds for a reason. So my playoff viewing experience has always been one of, I really wanted them to pull off that upset, and they didn't. So that dates back to the 80s.
Yes, issues are on YouTube's end. That's not on our end. Nope. We are not the only ones having difficulty with YouTube. We can't even see the chat on our computer. We just see the monkey with a hammer. So, yeah.
It's great that YouTube has this image of a monkey with a hammer, as if saying, we don't know how to fix anything.
Yeah, hammer. That'll fix it.
Would Shannon be friends with Batman?
I'm sure he's probably a really nice guy.
I had a dream. I had a dream months ago that I was at some kind of NHL function, and Gary Bettman was there. And Bettman comes over, looks me in the eye, and he goes, "Hello, Shannon." And I was like, "Hello, Mr. Bettman. I think we've spoken on the phone." And he's like, And he just kept walking. So I was like, yeah, that seems probably about how that would go.
I think you'd get along just fine with him. I'm sure he's plenty nice. He seems like a decent guy. I think you'd get along just fine. But
can you see me looking at him going, I think I've talked to you on the phone. I mean,
you totally would.
Because I have a funny feeling that he would probably know that those videos have been done, and I've done that kind of thing. I am overdue for another one.
If you're thinking about Europe, I'm part Italian, and Italy is amazing, especially Rome, obviously, but Pompeii and Vesuvius, sensational.
Well,
truly.
We did watch the second season of White Lotus, and
our son just got back from a trip to Italy.
Yep.
He thought it was amazing. He loved it. He loved it so much. He's trying to figure out a way to go over there next year, either for school or
we're looking at Paris.
Something.
Probably
because he graduates in June, so
we're looking at Paris. UK would be fun too.
It would be awesome. Anywhere
we went to London.
I would be cool going just about anywhere.
Be fun being around people who speak English, but we'd still be going, what? Depending on which part of England they're from.
I'm pretty good with accents.
I don't know. There's times where we're watching British shows and going, is this English?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this English? This is the King's English? All right, if it skips, let me know where you've skipped to.
Okay, got that. What does Tampa have? Wait, what does Tampa
have to do to win this series?
Okay.
It feels like Florida's just outplayed them. I think that Tampa Bay is probably getting pulled into this really physical. I don't want to say dirty, because I think when it's really physical, you're going to have a better chance of incidents across the line happening. That's not something that I think is Tampa Bay's wheelhouse. That's Florida's wheelhouse. I think the way that Tampa's played the series so far is very much a way that Florida's perfectly fine. They're comfortable playing that way.
It's not our mic having issues. It's YouTube. So sorry, we cannot fix it. It is YouTube's end. It is not our end. YouTube is having issues.
Why? What was the issue they were having with the audio?
Somebody says clipping.
Oh, fun.
But we aren't the only ones having trouble with YouTube.
Will you use a vacuum cleaner magnet for the refuse suck counter? Or can I get a better magnet idea? Well, see, the one thing I think of too is when we get into the regular season, there's going to be nights of 10, 11, 12. I won't be able to necessarily get all of the times that it gets chanted during a game. So the counter would have to be for certain times and not for others. And I don't know that I'll have a custom magnet for that.
Italy is fantastic. In the summer, go to Sweden, Finland, and or Baltics, though, where you can take in midsummer. Sweden would be awesome. Finland would be amazing. Yep. I'd like anywhere. Yep. I think traveling is awesome. I like seeing places that I've never been. Which first round division was your favorite?
First round series, I'm guessing. So far in these playoffs, the most fun one, I mean, Ottawa Toronto's been a lot of fun to watch. Edmonton LA's been fun to watch for various reasons, just the huge swings in momentum. Yeah, those would probably be my two picks right now. Although Montreal's still a lot of fun to watch when they're going.
How many baseball games has Yvonne watched this year so far? She loves baseball.
15.
0, because I don't like baseball.
15.
And Shannon puts on those ones where the whole game in like half hour or something.
30 minutes.
And I don't watch those either because I really don't like baseball. It's so boring. Hockey Guy, do you have Twitter?
No, I have a burner account that I just used to follow the news people because they, for whatever reason, are just still on Twitter. But no, I don't tweet.
Did New Jersey have one of the worst overtime performances of the season? Outshot 4-18 between both overtimes last night. Couldn't clear at all during overtime.
Minnesota wasn't great in the overtime last night either. Once you got to overtime against Vegas, Vegas just controlled almost the whole thing. It was really frustrating watching Minnesota last night because they had so little going in the third period in overtime, which it makes you ask, so did these players run out of gas or did the other team just pick up their play? It's probably a little bit of both.
Right with you, Shannon's wife. Baseball is boring. So boring.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
No.
I really, really don't enjoy baseball.
It's at least as exciting as golf.
If you go to a game, the games in person are way better. No, they're not. Because then you're stuck watching the entire game.
But you can eat all the nachos and hot dogs. And
I don't eat hot dogs.
Okay, well, you can wash it down with a beer.
That does not make it better. No.
Someday I'll take her to a Canadiens game.
No. I really don't like baseball.
We'll go to Vancouver Canadiens.
No. Do you hope we get Utah-Colorado matchup next year? That'd be great.
That'd be fun, especially with those
something with their
mammoth jerseys. I'm excited about the mammoth. I want ridiculous. I want Utah to have a ridiculous mascot. I want it to be like a life-size mammoth. That basically you have to assemble it in the building and then disassemble it to get it out of the building.
They could do it like the Lions for Lunar New Year.
I guess.
Yeah, they totally could. Okay. I hope the Stars can perform the way they performed in Game 5 tomorrow night and close out the series while waiting for Robertson and Miro to return.
That was the best game I've watched Dallas play in months. Like they were clicking, and I was like, "Where have these guys been? I've been waiting for this team." I changed my cup pick because I hadn't seen this team in months.
Are you going to the Abbotsford watch party? I'm thinking about it.
She might.
Thinking about it.
She has to take all the kids though. If she goes.
I don't have to take all of the kids.
You do.
That is not true.
That's our agreement.
I very rarely take all of the kiddos because usually at least one's busy.
If you leave one behind, then I got to listen and I got to, pay attention to what else is going on in the house. I already have that with the cats and the rabbits.
Must be really hard for you.
Where something getting chewed and I'm like, where's that being chewed? Who's chewing it? What's going on? I didn't feed anybody. That sound shouldn't be happening.
Is it possible Cronin was the reason the Ducks couldn't attract elite goal scorers during the free agency? Stoked for the future. Let's go Ducks.
I don't think the Ducks were really in the market for big star players last summer. They could be this summer. I don't know that Cronin was the issue. The one thing with Cronin, and it's his body language. There were times behind the bench where I kind of chuckled because he just looked confused. Like he wasn't quite sure what was going on. And I understand that was his body language, but I thought, for players, if they pick up on that, it probably doesn't elicit a lot of confidence. But just one of those things. I think that Anaheim's ready this year. They're going to be more aggressive. I don't think they were aggressive in free agency previously.
Okay, Adam, not happening. Okay. There's a lot of people going on about the mammoth. Mm-hmm. Hope Utah converts a Zamboni into a mammoth. That would be awesome to see the Zamboni come out looking and moving like a mammoth. Then a huge animatronic mammoth would. So be the amazing.
Eyeballs would be the lights on the front of the Zamboni. That'd be great. But you'd have to have the tusks would have to turn in so you could go into the corners.
Oh yeah. If we get a giant mammoth mascot, I will find a way to get you some sort of THG mammoth picture next season.
It's got to be ridiculous. It's got to be Mammy the mammoth.
Mammy?
Yeah, like a grandmother. Mama mammoth.
Would you be against a Canucks rebuild? Sell everyone.
I'm too old for the Canucks to go through a rebuild. If they do a rebuild, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I've been down this road with the Canucks. Look, we got these new young guys and it's gonna be different this time. I've been through that with the Canucks for over 40 years and it just gets to be a lot. So
man, you guys.
I don't know that I have the patience for a full-on rebuild, and I don't know if I trust the people who might be responsible for them being thrust into that rebuild to do the rebuild part.
I like T-Rex better than Mammoth. There is a serious shortage of dinosaurs in hockey.
What if they combined the two? What if it was a Mammoth Rex and you could have like a T-Rex but with woolly fur and tusks, but it still roars like a big dinosaur. It's got the big teeth. That could then you don't have to worry about copyrights. You don't have to worry about trademarks.
Well, I mean, we do already have quite a few mascots.
You wouldn't have to worry about any of that.
What is that?
You could have
I don't know.
Their mascot could stand right next to the Dallas Stars mascot, and you could go, we don't know what either of these things are, and it would work.
No, Shannon. What did you ever see the three sons in NHL like the Jays? I don't know what that means. No, you're ruining it, Shannon.
So three.
Right? He's good at ruining things.
Three sons of previous generations on the same team, because I know the Blue Jays have had that. I always thought that was neat that they had so many second generation stars. I don't know that we've seen that
what
that
the
much.
Heck is Gritty?
Gritty is a Flyers mask. He's Gritty. He is his own creature. He is Gritty.
Just saying, there's quite a few mascots. Well, not quite a few. There's several mascots that. What is it?
It's Gritty.
So, could fit in.
Gritty is his own creature. He's him. He is him.
Gritty is awesome. Mammoth, just a mammoth, posing the entire time. I like you.
What if they got Mr. Snuffleupagus and just put tusks on Mr. Snuffleupagus, and then it could just be
Snuffleupagus is great.
See, and then you could call it Mammotheupagus.
Who wins tonight in Winnipeg? Well, let's hope Winnipeg.
Oh, I
vote Winnipeg.
I hope it's Winnipeg, but man, St. Louis looked fantastic the last couple of games, and they seem to have a book on the Jets right now. So we'll see if that changes tonight.
Maybe you should let Hellebuck have a break today.
No, Hellebuck has to have a break for Game 6. I would not start him in Game 6 in St. Louis.
Hey, buddy, we're here. Let's go Blues. No, I like you too, Yvonne. You bring a good vibe to the channel. Shannon brings Shannon vibes. He does bring Shannon vibes.
I don't know if that's a good thing or
all
a bad
the
thing.
Shannon vibes.
Is that a bad thing?
Hello, could you get my question, please?
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks.
I preferred Outlaws, but imagine the entry from the tunnel, the players coming out from between the tusks of a mammoth head skull.
And what'd be great?
They do like the sharks.
What'd be great though would be if it wasn't a skull, if it was like all furry and they come through and they're like this. And you're like, ugh, they don't think it through, and there's fur all over the place.
Fur on the ice, and the Zamboni would go, and it would just like freeze it to the ice, and so there'd be these little ridges in the ice that would be.
It'd be just as epic as like the average Joe's entrance on. You know, it'd be just as good as that. You can have him coming through smoke, and just there's all this fur. Oh, it's carnage! It's carnage. Clayton Keller comes through first, hits the ace. His feet come out from under him, and everybody just piles on top. Be great. The fur was a horrible idea. Who thought of that? THG right here.
One game. One game, and we'd never see it again. Be gone. Okay.
They have to get a weed whacker to get rid of the fur.
When as Jason for Haunted Hospital, in 1 week I wore an old Eric Lindros jersey 1 week and an old blank starter Rangers jersey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by the time Lindros got to the Rangers, he was pretty much done.
Yeah, Yvonne, stop ignoring everyone's questions. Thanks, Josh. So helpful. Okay.
Taylor Swift, though, right? I had to.
Is there a spot
Josh.
for Arno and Dallas Net behind Otter?
The Dallas Net is spoken for at least next year. I believe DeSmith has another year left on his contract past this year. It's one of the reasons he signed in Dallas. I don't think Vancouver was offering him that.
I do most of my job at desk and I can listen to YouTube, so thank you for all of your content, Shannon.
Thank you. That's what I try to explain to people that ask why I do the play-by-play stuff, because people do just listen to my videos. That absolutely is the thing.
We get messages a lot that people just listen, especially when they're driving and whatnot. Yeah.
I listen to Jim Cornette on YouTube all the time, so I try to use that same kind of energy.
Finally made it to a live stream. Thoughts on Caps, chances for tonight? Are you planning on the Hangout lasting through some of the games? No. I have to go get my daughter. So
no,
I have to pick her up by 4.
But we are to a point now where the schedule gets a lot better and we're able to do live streams a lot easier.
And we do not do main channel live streams during any games. We do not. We only will do Patreon or member videos while there's a game going, just because we do not want a copyright strike.
So while I have patrons and members, I would think watching this on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. So Saturday, 10:30 a.m. live stream scheduled for then. So that will very likely be during a game.
All right, there we go. Okay. Why don't players invested in an organization like Crosby sign 1-year contracts and get traded at deadline to help the team, then just re-sign again in off-season? Is it just taboo?
The NHL's not a fan of that. That happened with Atlanta back in 2007, and the NHL didn't like it, where guys went to Atlanta to help them through the run towards the playoffs and then exited and went back where they were. And the NHL doesn't like that. So it's not against the rules, but it's not something the NHL is a huge fan of.
Where do you rank Binnington if Helly is first?
Hellebuck is the best goaltender in the league during the regular season. Binnington, I would have in the top half of the starters in the NHL. I don't know that he's top 5. I wouldn't put him there personally, but he's got to be in the top half, and he is good enough for the style of hockey St. Louis plays to win.
Love Zeddy Bear.
Yep, me too.
It's for all the Canadians.
I had to have
Zeddy
that.
Is.
We went into the bay, and I just grabbed that immediately because it's such a handsome looking bear.
He's not. He looks special. He looks like a stuffy from the 80s.
Because he is a stuffy from the 80s.
They definitely kept him, but it doesn't feel like
couldn't be more Canadian.
Yeah,
because his name is Zed.
That's so funny. Cornette and you are 2 of my 3 subscriptions.
There you go. I listen to Cornette every week, especially when he's ripping into some of the just awful booking. I agree with him on it, by the way.
What time did you say we're doing the live stream on Saturday?
10:30 our time, 1:30 Eastern.
Which is Pacific time.
Yeah, 1:30 Eastern.
Because we live on the West Coast.
So usually a half an hour after the games get started on a Saturday.
Should Chevy get fired if the Jets lose to St. Louis?
You can't fire a GM when your team just finished first in the National Hockey League. I don't think I've ever seen that.
True. Get your Jets gear on, guys. We need help tonight. Let's go.
I don't think I'm playing. So, and I have some superstitions about what I wear. Like if I wore a Jets jersey tonight and then they lost, I would feel some sense of personal responsibility that they lost the game because I was wearing their gear. But if I wore Blues and the Jets lost, and I feel like, man, the hockey gods knew I switched sides.
He does that.
They'd know that it's trying for a reverse jinx. So then the Jets lost because the reverse jinx didn't work. So yeah, it's a mess. So I just wear one of my regular shirts.
He really does change his jersey mid-game sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually to do a reverse jinx. It's really funny. Zeddy looks like the Caddyshack gopher. Oh, okay. So some people are saying I'm American. Who's Zeddy? He's for store, Zellers, which all of the Targets moved into old Zellers because Zellers closed.
And then Target disappeared, but they left their balls behind.
The Bay bought Zellers, which is already closed, so they had a tiny section, which I still don't get.
The thing that I always found,
the little mascot.
The thing that I always found funny, and I actually posted this. Closed. I posted it on my personal Facebook account way before I had a channel. Was that the Targets came? They had those big red balls, and then they left, but they left the balls behind. So I always thought it was funny that all that we have left to remind us of Target is their balls. That's it. Everything else is gone.
Canada and left their balls.
I thought, there you go. And I actually took pictures and I posted it to Facebook.
Hey, Target's
gone.
Your balls.
But their balls are still here. They are eternal.
Zeddy is closing stores across the country.
Yeah.
It's Zeddy's fault.
Man. Well, we're consolidating everything into here. I haven't had the nerve to tell you.
We've had so many stores close in years that we got
since the channel
furniture.
Sears.
Yeah.
Sears helped the channel a lot.
When Zellers closed, I got plenty of things from Zellers, and then Target was barely open for like 9 months, and so then we got stuff from Target, and then Sears closed, and I haven't.
The first jersey racks I had were from Sears
at the Bay, and all
they
the
were
hangers.
Dirt cheap. Yeah, all the hangers.
All of our hangers.
We were going through the bin out back because they had all kinds of hangers in there too.
Yeah.
So that's what started this, was Sears closing down. So thanks, Sears. I guess they're not watching. They don't exist anymore.
Which Blues jersey will you be wearing for the review tonight?
I try not to wear the same one twice. I don't know if anybody's even paid attention to that. I know that's the kind of thing that I might be the only one that pays attention, but I try not to wear the same one twice. True. And I try to have a reason why I'm wearing whichever jersey I'm wearing.
I have not forgot about my daughter. I don't need to leave. Her class doesn't even end for 40 minutes. It's like 5 minutes away. So
and she's in the forest, so nothing bad happens in the forest.
Totally happy if I left her out in the woods. She'd be fine.
There's a park right there. She's fine.
Find her in a tree somewhere, talking to the geese.
Yep, this is true.
She'd be totally cool if I left her in the woods.
This is true.
She could walk through the forest to get home. I'm pretty sure she'd be able to find the way.
I think so. I think so. Yep. Yep.
Do you see Vegas making an off-season move for another goalie? Hill can't seem to get back to Stanley Cup form.
They're going to need a goalie in the offseason. Yeah. Vegas, Samsonov didn't have a fantastic year. I still believe in the upside for Schmid. I'm kind of surprised that New Jersey kept Dawes and let Schmid go. I think Schmid's the better of the two goaltenders, and I like Dawes too. But yeah, Vegas is going to have to figure out their goaltending in the offseason.
Wait, Sears closed? That was like 6 years ago.
At least.
Yeah. It was closed so long ago that they've totally rebuilt.
It closed in Canada first, and then I think it closed in the States after.
I have no idea. I don't know about the American side of it. They
don't
ever coincide. If stores close here or in the States, it doesn't coincide. It's like American Toys R Us close. We still have them.
Yep.
So I have no idea if there's American Sears or not. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they're close to.
I don't know. What do you like about hockey compared to other sports? It's not boring.
It's exciting. When I was a kid, I liked the action of it. I loved that it was on ice. I love the jerseys, the colors, the logos, the goalie masks. I was never huge. Like, I know this is weird to say as a hockey fan, but the fighting never really mattered to me. Like, I was never a big fan.
No.
I remember Stan Smeal getting beaten up in a game I was watching, and he got 5 for fighting. And I asked my father, I said, did he just get 5 minutes for getting punched in the face a bunch of times? My dad's like, yep. And I was like, okay. But hockey, it's a little bit of everything. I love watching players develop. One thing that I've always loved, and one of the reasons I really love the video games too, is you draft a guy and then you watch him develop. And if you do the right thing, and I love the development and the unknown with young players too. So hockey's it's a lot of fun to watch.
I like that it's not boring. And when you watch it, you're actually watching them play, as opposed to other sports where you're watching them argue over where a line is or where a ball touched. Or
pro wrestling's pretty exciting. I mean, you watched that NXT match there last night. The women, I tell you, that was some believable fighting that was going on.
So silly. No, that was so silly.
It was something.
Silly. It was silly.
What silly, passes for pro wrestling now would not have passed for pro wrestling back in the 80s. It's just, what are they doing? All flipping around.
Trouble watching wrestling because it's silly.
You can see they're standing there waiting. Like, why are you standing there waiting? Move out of the way. You're idiots.
It's nice of them to stand right in the spot and every once
in a while
shuffle over so they get into position.
Yeah, it didn't used to be that obvious.
It's silly. Okay. What's your preference? Caramel, Smarties, Aero, Coffee Crisp, or something else?
My something else would be Kit Kat Chunky.
Kit Kat Chunky is
my favorite.
Wonder Bar is my favorite.
Kit Kat Chunky. The moment that they invented that, I was like, I'm sold.
Mint Arrows are really good. I do really like those too. And Smarties are great.
I like Skittles.
Yeah.
Especially the America Balls. Those are my favorites. When they have the red, white, and blue Skittles, I just call them America Balls.
And Dave was nice enough to send you a box of those.
Bunch. I still have a bunch of the America Balls. I'm good. I have enough.
Shannon really savors those.
Yeah.
So they last a long time.
Exactly.
Blue Jackets got a fortune for top 6 forward guesses.
Well, Columbus is honestly in pretty good shape. Now, I think their top 6 is good. I think Fantilli's developed really nicely, and they're going to be able to get a pick in the top half of this year's draft. I think Columbus, with all the cap space they have, I think they're in fantastic position this summer. I think with that cap space, they could be in on Marner. They could be in on almost anybody.
Skip. There we go.
Why'd you skip?
Surprised by Vegas Mini a little bit. Is it this close because of weaker Vegas, or Mini just able to integrate the injured guys that well?
Probably a little bit of both. Vegas doesn't scare me this year like they have in previous years. I know they won the division. I'm not as scared of what Vegas is going to do. Minnesota, it's been quite the season. If they don't pull this off against Vegas, they can at least say they kept it close. But I seem to remember they kept it close last time against Vegas too. I think that series went to 7.
Is Jim Nill the best manager in Stars history?
Easily, yeah. And I'm including Bob Gainey in that list, but yes.
All right. Yeah, my eyes are watering. My allergies are really bad. If you guys have been watching very long, you know that I'm allergic to everything. So, and it's all blooming right now.
I only have 3 cats in here right now.
I'm a massive Metallica fan since the Load Remaster box set is dropping in June. What's your overall opinion on that era?
Metallica fans can be tough. I was not as big a fan of them before the Black Album as I was after the Black Album, which I had Metallica fans. Some of them tell me that means I'm not a real Metallica fan because Load and Reload were considered to be like the antithesis of Metallica, especially when they cut their hair. Guys like, I can't believe they cut their hair. I'm like, why do you care how long their hair is? That's kind of weird, guys. That's kind of strange. But yeah, so I love the albums Load and Reload. And up until Saint Anger. Saint Anger is where it all went. But yeah, yes. I'm a big fan of Metallica up until Saint Anger, which sounds like it was made in somebody's basement. And not a good basement.
Nothing bad in Forest. Tell that to Snow White, Hansel and Gretel, Bambi, etc. Our forests are awesome. So
she's smarter. She's smarter than Hansel and Gretel.
That's true. It's true. She has appliances, so she couldn't just eat candy. So I don't think she'd be tricked as easily with candy.
She has a cell phone, so she could just message us going into oven.
Her. She doesn't have her phone with her.
Well,
and
that's
there's no Wi-Fi in the forest, so that doesn't do her any good.
They don't have forest Wi-Fi?
They don't. I know, weird.
Why don't we have what they have down south, where they have like palm trees that are actually covering up?
I think
they're fake palm trees because they're covering up cell towers.
Stand out here.
Just get one of them fake cell towers. They don't stand out at all.
NHL in 2011, more like today, or 97.
The NHL back in 2011, probably closer to today. The game's really changed since 14-15 is where we started getting into some higher scoring hockey. But 97 was where things were just being ground to a halt in terms of creativity and goal scoring.
Oh, thoughts on the band Ghost?
Love Ghost.
Awesome.
When is the Canadian tour?
They said they're going to come to Canada next tour.
They better.
Because they have I think it's the bass players from Toronto.
They better, because we got 3 kids that want to go and see Ghost.
Gabriel was looking. They just released new merch. They've got a hoodie with bat wings on it.
That's fantastic.
He wants it so bad.
Ghost, we've seen Ghost live, and it's one of the best theatrical shows I've ever seen.
So fun.
Absolutely fantastic.
Have you ever been to the Stadium Series? I really missed the opportunity to go to Cotton Bowl when they went there a few years ago.
No, I've never gone to any of the outdoor games. Obviously, the only one that they had in Vancouver was kind of a dud. Yeah, I've never been to any of the outdoor games. Maybe at some point, sometime that'll change.
I forgot what your favorite current NHL player is.
Oh man, my favorite current NHL player. I mean, Besser would be up there. Besser's always been one of my favorites since he joined the Canucks. It's going to be tough with him leaving and everything. I'm really struggling with my Canucks fandom at this point in time. It has become a bit more of a struggle. Favorite player right now? Pasternak in Boston's so much fun to watch. So he'd have to be up there. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Is culture in dressing room over or underrated?
I think the dressing room culture, the tricky part is that we keep hearing about certain locker rooms where there's a split. And I think maybe there's a split in the way these guys communicate with each other and just general stuff. I think the culture in the room, though, gets better with winning. So I think when a team's winning, I think it's easier to get everybody to buy in. And then when the losses start to pile up, it's more difficult to ignore whether or not you really dislike your teammate.
As a Flyers fan, this offseason scares me. I fear it could come too early with Tocchet and signings.
I think the Flyers, I think they're in decent shape. They're going to have a good draft pick this year. And I really think that moving on from Tortorella is going to benefit the players. And I think we'll see a big bounce back year from guys next year.
Ticket prices are going up 20%. Canucks are nuts.
They're putting the ticket prices
tickets
up again?
more? They're already way too expensive.
They can't be putting up ticket prices for next year.
They're already way too expensive.
After the season we just had, they can't. They can't be putting Canucks ticket prices up again. They can't. That is absolute ridiculousness if they do.
It's okay to cry, Yvonne, but before the game, hee. I know, sorry, my allergies are awful, and the longer I'm in this room, the worse they get. I swear they do.
She's allergic to me, is what the problem is.
No, I'm allergic to animals. Look at how Ezreal is laying.
Yeah, face down. I know, her and Bear are the same cat. That's why they hate each other.
I'm allergic to everything, including all of our pets. So, and we have the air filter turned off because we're doing a video. So, yeah. What? Oh, miss your live chats. Always fun to watch. We haven't been able to do one for quite a while. End of the season, the schedule was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it makes it really hard.
Yeah, it was balanced, but it was also really busy.
Spring allergies suck. Agreed. Going for the Jets too. Hope that they don't flounder as much as they usually do this time of year. Right? So frustrating.
One thing, and I was talking to Yvonne about this last night, and it's one thing that I've noticed is it feels like the same teams are winning a lot in the playoffs as have won in previous years. And so I want to plot out a chart, something that'll tell me whether I'm just imagining it or not. But it does feel like we now have a league of haves and have-nots, even though there's parity during the regular season. Then you get to playoffs, and maybe the parity is just an optical illusion for us.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Right now? I mean, all time it'd be Bret the Hitman Hart. Stone Cold Steve Austin's up there too, though. Stone Cold was fantastic. I mean, right now, on the women's side, it'd be Stephanie Vaquer. I think she has a ridiculous amount of talent. Once she gets her English straightened out, I don't think anybody can stop her. And Rhea Ripley's fantastic too. If you've never seen Rhea live, like, her shoulders are massive. That woman could legitimately ragdoll a lot of the men on that roster. On the men's side, it's Drew McIntyre. I love Drew McIntyre. I will never boo Drew McIntyre. I love that when he gets mad, he just walks out. I think that's great. He gets mad backstage and he's like, I don't like any of this. I'm going home. See ya. Bye. I love that. That's great.
Just started watching. Just saying, I still wish Utah was able to use the Yeti name. Agreed.
Well, now I've got all those Bigfoot magnets. And now they're not going to be the Yeti.
Which is lame. That would have been such a fun.
But I got my team name. I got Mammoth. That was always my pick. I always wanted Mammoth.
Yeti. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah, I was ahead of my time.
Boo.
If there's anything people say about the hockey guy, it's he's ahead of his time.
That's what people say about you.
that's it. Yep, that's it.
Kraken fan here with, I don't know.
Bilesma.
Oh, okay. Who do you think we will hire as our coach?
I'm not sure which direction they're going to go. I know they're keeping the assistant coaching staff, which I'm fine with. It will be interesting to see who they bring in. I think they need to bring in somebody with some NHL experience. It'll probably be another retread. Somebody's been there before. But yeah, I think for Seattle, there's going to be some pressure on them next year. This is going to be year 5. This is where people are going to want some improvement. So I would think a veteran coach. Maybe they ask Laviolette. Maybe we get somebody like that, but we'll see.
We will need to go in about 5 minutes.
Yes.
So we'll just do this for 5 minutes more, and then we'll be shutting down.
And
then Shannon can get ready for games.
Yeah, get ready to get my heart broke all over again.
Who do you think will win the Calder Cup?
Calder Cup. It's hard to go against Hershey. I'm pretty sure Hershey's still in it. And I meant to do a video on the Calder Cup too, because I wanted to get one done early in the week before the playoffs get rolling again. I think the playoffs get rolling tomorrow, don't they? In the AHL? Yeah. There was a series that started on the weekend. Oh man. Yeah. And then it got away from me. I wanted to do one.
Just eliminated the Stingrays.
It's hard to go against Hershey because they've won so many times. It's hard to go against Hershey. Although a lot of their players who they've won with are now up with the Washington Capitals.
Have you watched Aussie Rules football?
I love Aussie Rules football. I always just wanted to be the guy with the white hat and the white jacket that just does the, right when the ball goes through the uprights and they come out and they do this and they point with one or with two. I always thought that's right there. That's the job I want. I don't want to be the guy who's getting destroyed and having to pick up his intestines on the field. I'd rather be the old guy who's right behind the line telling
Do
you
you have a favorite team
in Aussie Rules?
Yeah.
Nah. I love the carnage. It's so much fun. You've watched Aussie Rules, haven't you?
I have. Oh yeah.
There's rules. It has a reputation for not having rules.
In a world where the Preds get the first overall pick, do you think they take Misa or Schaefer?
You got to take Schaefer. Schaefer is the pretty much unanimous number one draft pick. You kind of have to take Schaefer.
Why do the Jets keep playing Logan Stanley?
He's big. He can hit. In a third pairing role, he shouldn't hurt you. He does take bad penalties, though. And I do think that his time with the Jets is one or two bad plays away from being potentially done. I don't know how much longer Stanley's going to be with the team. I understand why they keep giving him a chance. He is a young defenseman, and he's a big guy who can hit. He does take penalties.
The Canucks did so bad this year. Why is their draft pick such a low pick?
Well, the Canucks, they got a whole bunch of points in extra time. So it's not that they necessarily play better. They got games to overtime rather than losing in regulation. For the Canucks, they don't seem to value draft picks as much as they should. It's something I've talked about before, how they get an extra first-round draft pick, and I'm excited, and then they pitch it immediately to somebody else, which I think is crazy. They need to start prioritizing that a little bit more, although they've done pretty well in recent drafts as well.
If Hughes ends up getting traded or leaves the Canucks in 2 years, they should trade everyone, stock up on draft picks, and go into a full rebuild.
I don't believe in burning it down. If you burn it down, you are basically declaring for the next 5+ years that the team's going to be bad. Vancouver will not fill that building. We went through that in the late 90s. Vancouver, there were talks about whether or not they might get moved to Seattle at one point. The attendance was down. The Canadian dollar was really bad at that point too, and there was legitimate concern they could lose the team.
Okay, well, I'll read these 2 super chats and then we got to go.
Yep.
Go Jets. You think the Flames are Cup favorites next season?
Not Cup favorites, but I think they could be a playoff team.
And if the Caps were to re-sign Holtby and DSP, do you think that would help them or hurt them?
They're not going to be able to do that. I'm pretty sure both of them are retired. But either way, thanks guys for showing up and coming out. We will do this again. I'd like to be able to do this once a week, so that's the cross your fingers plan. And as we get into next week, we'll be getting into the next round of the playoffs as well. So thanks guys for coming out.
We'll do the Patreon and members live stream on
Patreon members is on Saturday, and hopefully the chat window on my computer works and makes it a little bit easier for the wifey here.
Definitely make it easier.
So, but yeah, guys, thanks for coming out, and we will do this again soon. Take care.